The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Pop in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation or bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heartthrob in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly podcast coming to you December 6th, 2023. As I'm sitting here at 10 o'clock at night watching the Nuggets and the Clippers here, alongside here the biggest Nuggets fan that I know. I'm surprised they actually had Nuggets. I didn't know they had Nuggets fans until like 2 years ago. Brandon Wanless.
Yeah,
musician.
There are a few of us.
Musician, first-time father. Someone, I don't know, we've actually met maybe one time years ago, because I've known your mom for 20 years. And I got to say, your mom, her and I co-workers, one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. She's so sweet. And, you know, she linked us up. I think I might have met you one time, actually, but years ago.
I honestly, I felt the same way. You know, I feel like there might have been a time, but usually, 7-8 years ago, if anybody was running into me, it was like when the Kennel Club coworkers were going out to the Blue Boar afterwards. So everybody was inebriated, and there was 100 of you guys in white shirts.
I would go,
So,
right. I used to go to the Borough a lot in the early days when I first started there, but then I got ended up getting married and didn't go out much because I'm old and lazy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Brandon Wanless with us, the first time on the podcast. How you doing, buddy? It's been a long time. We've been trying to get this going for a while now. We finally got in.
Definitely since at least the Nuggets won the championship. So for months, we've been talking about it. Talking about it getting going, and I've been looking forward to it. I'm glad to have some sports conversations with somebody with a good perspective who's also a wrestling fan. There's not as many wrestling fans these days as there used to be. So those are some of my favorite conversations.
It's kind of a niche thing. It feels like a niche thing. I don't know if you know my history though. I took a 17-year break after 2002, after WrestleMania 18, Hogan Rock. I took a 17-year break. Like, granted, I watched my old stuff, and I always reveled in the old Hulkamania years and even the Attitude Era, all that stuff. But I didn't watch the current product for about 17 years until 2019. And the reason I got back in was because of AEW. AEW, when I heard AEW was about to be a thing, there's a lead up to that. I was like, you know what? Let's check back this thing, and not only that, the amount of podcasts I listened to, years before, all the like retro podcasts and stuff. It's like, you know what? I'm kind of get the itch now. Who's Seth Rollins? Who's Roman Reigns? These guys. I was curious.
Yeah. I mean, it was so hard to watch for those. You didn't miss much of anything. There was a shitload of John Cena and Randy Orton, and the matches sucked. And everything was a headlock takeover and a rest hold for 11 minutes. Triple H was beating everybody to death. It was the shits. It was hard to be a wrestling fan. It was just like one of those things where I wasn't watching the weekly product.
Right.
I mean, I was like a young, crazy man. So I was out on the skateboard or at the bar or doing something. I was never sitting still one night of the week. That's for sure. Especially not for 3-hour Raws when one match is watchable on the whole card, man. So you kind of did yourself a favor there. You went straight from like what's considered the biggest match ever to a lot of people to, AEW. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan now. That's for sure. So we waited patiently.
I'm 43. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay. So when did you get into wrestling first off?
So like my first WrestleMania viewing was like right after my birthday. My birthday's in March, early March 11th.
Okay.
And that WrestleMania 15 was at the end of March. My mom and dad's best friends when I was growing up were Kim and Tim Parnell. And Tim had like a man cave and bought the pay-per-view, and we did my birthday party, and then I stayed the night and watched the card, and I was obsessed, dude. That was the end of it for me. I could not get enough of it. It was, not the best WrestleMania ever in a lot of people's opinion. There's that horrible Hell in a Cell, big boss man Undertaker match with, oh my God. But dude, when I was a kid, I was like, what is this? I couldn't get enough, man. And then the figures got into my life, and I'm obsessed still to this day, man. I can't look away. It's like a good car accident.
It's funny because that was actually the first WrestleMania I watched in real time. Like when I say real time, like all WrestleMania prior to that. And granted, I was old enough to watch that stuff, but I never watched WrestleMania in real time because my mom never ordered pay-per-views because I was not allowed to watch it at the time. I would stick around my back and watch it months later and watch on Coliseum Home Video. 15 was the first one I actually watched in real time, and there was a big lead up. I was the first Austin Rock Mania. That was a letdown of a match. I would argue of the three of the trilogy, that's the worst of the three, actually.
Definitely. I mean, it was a weird one, dude. That's for sure.
Yeah. So that Mania was a bit of a letdown in comparison, But yeah, so you've been a fan all the way through this now. You're taking breaks here and there. I mean,
well, see, I didn't have cable TV at that age. When we were younger, that was just like not something we had at the house. Until SmackDown. When we got SmackDown on UPN, dude, that was a game changer. I probably, no exaggeration, probably watched the first 200 episodes of SmackDown, or 150, 175. I wouldn't miss it. That's when I was home. It was on Thursdays at the time. It was like, I had school in the morning, bro. Of course I can stay up till 10 o'clock on Thursday night. We had a little tiny black and white TV I had to turn on with pliers, and we got 34. So we watched that. And me and Perry would sit at the foot of my bed and watch it. So SmackDown, when that became accessible, it was way more,
right.
I could watch it finally.
No, I remember watching the first ever SmackDown. That was kind of memorable for me because that was Rock and Hunter became champion a week before that, I think, and The Rock was I remember that whole thing. That was fun.
Is it at a boiler room match? It's like Mankind and The Rock, and they go down in a boiler room, and then somebody knocks Foley out. I think it's Big Show.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, it's a whole crazy schmoz ending. They wanted to draw the ratings. I mean, it worked, dude. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like debating getting a SmackDown tattoo at one point, and I'm so glad I didn't do that. Yeah, wow. I loved it, man. When SmackDown versus Raw came out, I got a blue controller and a blue chair, and my next door neighbor got a red controller and a red chair. It was like that. It was that real, bro.
So when did WWE go off the ledge for you then? Because like I said, I stopped in 2002, and then I didn't watch any wrestling pretty much for 17 years. When did WWE go off the ledge for you?
I mean, honestly, the Cena reign was really hard to sit. That whole there's that 10-year span of just like Cena in every main event. That's where I was aware of what was going on, but I wasn't watching like that. I would monthly probably check the websites. I'd know the pay-per-view outcomes, but that was about the extent of it. I mean, there was nothing really to draw you in. There was so much like chaos and the split brand roster. There was a pay-per-view every other month for every other, show for a while there. It was just like, It was so much to keep up with, dude. I was an Eddie Guerrero guy. So when he was gone, that after that SmackDown era, that 2005, 2006, right about there until,
wow.
Until I was forced to get back into it.
What do you mean forced? Oh, is it AW?
Well, just not that. I mean, Bryan Danielson probably is really the reason I got way back into it. I had to be around for that. I was an ROH diehard fan of his, indie tapes, headbutt matches with McGuinness and stuff, So yeah, when he got in there and it started blowing up, I had to tune back in. I had to. That was right around when I got back in and paid attention was just Bryan Danielson stuff, even on the underneath card. But again, very fringe and on the outskirts of it.
So you necessarily didn't stop wrestling. You just stopped WWE, and you went to other independent promotions, Ring of Honor, of course, and maybe TNA at one point.
Oh yeah, I would watch some TNA here and there. It wasn't something me and my buddies got the pay-per-view for.
Yeah.
Of all the years, even when it was dreadful, dude, and not great, we still did the Rumble every year. We still did Mania every year. Me and my two buddies, we would always get together for those two. So I was at least that aware of the product as much as I was not in love with it,
So I don't want to call you anti-WWE, but it seems like you are pretty WWE isn't necessarily the thing that's on your priority list of wrestling promotions to watch, is it?
Right now, no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's got its moments, brother. Gunther's on fire. You know, again, I'm paying enough attention to know like the drama. I watched the Punk return. I'm not a Punk guy, but how do you not watch that? You know,
Yeah, of course.
I'll pay attention. I'll turn the pay-per-view on. I have Peacock. I pay for it. You know, I'm not like, I don't hate on them. It's just like, I just watched AEW pay-per-views. Just do it for me, man. That's what I've been waiting for so long. They've really just hit the nail on the head for me with the product. I just watched Edge and Christian tear the house down in Montreal on TV 10 minutes before I got on this podcast with you in 2023. You know,
it seems like you're more into really pro wrestling than sports entertainment then.
Definitely.
Right? That's what I figured. Because AEW for me, like AEW, AEW got me back into it first off, and I've cooled off on AEW the last year and a half, 2 years. I still watch it, but I'm not as like fired up. I used to watch every Dynamite that was going on style. I watched the first Rampages and stuff and all that, and then somewhere between last year and now, this cooled off on it. I don't know if it's Tony Khan's booking or it's just some of the things going on there. I feel like the problem is like I still love sports entertainment. See, that's the thing. I never got into like indie wrestling until probably like the last couple of years, learning who Samoa Joe was, learning who Daniel Bryan used to. That's where he came from, and all these guys that came up. That I was born into the glitz and glamour of WWE from the word go. Like at 7 years old, WrestleMania 3, boom, Hogan and Andre. So to me, wrestling was like WCW was never on my radar. The one that have cable, so you can get Turner back as a kid. And even when I watched WCW, it was like one of those things like, oh, WCW exists, but I was never really a WCW guy until Hogan went there in the mid-90s, you know? So I was never really I never really appreciated independent wrestling until I got till now, honestly, the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, we would go to ROH shows when they come to town for years. Mm-hmm. They would do like it's like a little tiny hall of some sort down in Lauderdale. They would do it like every 12 or 18 months. They'd come down and do a show, and it was like $25. You know, you're talking about 200 people, and every guy that was on those shows is in WWE or AEW. You know, every one of those dudes. I got photos with Adam Cole when nobody knew who he was. You know what I mean? So those are like awesome moments in time, and we just kind of knew they were going to be the guys that everybody wanted to watch. I feel like the sport, it's definitely gone more athletic. We're out of the meathead bodybuilder like.
Do you like that
era now? No, I mean, I don't get me wrong. A big guy kicking somebody's ass on TV is awesome. Give me Wardlow squashing a guy is cool. You know what I mean? I'm into that. I just I think like the smaller, more athletic wrestler is definitely way more appreciated. And Shawn Michaels was the only one they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back then, he didn't want to push anybody like that.
With him,
so it just wasn't available. You know?
Yeah. So Punk's return. You say we're in a Punk guy. I again, CM Punk was someone I never got to appreciate because when he got big, you know,
I'm gonna go ahead and change up.
When Punk,
I'm Team AEW on this Punk thing, dude. I've never been a Punk guy. Never been a Punk guy.
Well, let me ask you this then. So when Punk came to AEW 2 years ago, because I watched that. I watched that in real time. Like obviously we knew he was coming back. I mean, the dirt sheets were telling you that for weeks before that. Were you excited about it initially when he came to AEW?
No, not at all. I mean, like when it comes on level of Punk hater, I am 100%. He just has never done it for me, man. And there's this saying about a wrestler, and then the bell rang, and just dude, even his early ROH work when he's wearing like giant gym shorts and just got the Pepsi tattoo and his hair's long and he's like fast, it's still just like sloppy. Man. He was in there with like 10 of the greatest wrestlers of all time, as far as I'm concerned, back then in the ring with early Roderick Strong, you know, Tyler Black, guys like that, who's now Seth Rollins. Dude, just everybody in the ring with him was better than him. I felt like back then. I just never got it, man. The vibrato thing. He's like straight edge. I'm just like a beer drinking metalhead. It's like, fuck CM Punk. I've always never been a Punk guy. I think his matches sucked in AEW, man. That was the most embarrassing fucking thing Tony Khan ever did as a company owner, was put the strap on that guy and let him go out there and try to do 2 buckshot lariats in one fucking match, dude. That was like the cringiest AEW moment there has ever been. And I've seen a couple of them. Dude, the fucking barbed wire exploding match. was nothing compared to how cringy Punk trying to do 2 lariats in a row was, dude. That was Jesus, man.
You just marked down the moment where I told you a year and a half when I cooled off in AEW. That's where it happened, because to me, taking the strap off of Hangman Page was a mistake. That was a mistake.
1,000% agree with you.
Let them hold that belt for another 6 months. That killed all the momentum of his reign there. I know Tony wanted to, obviously Punk's a name, this and that. You want to legitimize it, but Punk's job there is to get guys over.
It should have been anyway.
Right.
It should have been to get guys over. And look, he wanted to play ball for about a month and a half, dude. We all know the story with it. Everywhere he goes, man, it's not you, it's me. It's like one of those things where how many times does the cat have to slam its fucking tail in the door, dude, before the thing just comes in or goes out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I called it as soon as he got there. I was like, this is a bad idea. They're going to put the title on him. It's going to suck. He's going to have 2 or 3 good promos that are going to get the wrestling world ablaze like they always do. And every dick rider from Chicago to fucking Australia is going to love this guy. And I'm going to be miserable. And it happened. I called it straight down the middle. Meanwhile, Kenny Omega is like in another feud. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, what are we doing? We're wasting a guy's prime so this dinosaur can come back and slop it up all over the place, man. There's no amount of blood he could have bled against MJF that would have made me give a shit, honestly. So
honestly, that was the only thing he did well there to me was the MJF feud. That's it.
I mean, I'll give him that, I guess. I'll give him that. And I think MJF carried him through it. He's kind of flushing it right now, dude. As much as you might not be up on the product this week, every week, dude, he's on like 8 segments. They know what they're doing with MJF right now. Well, the booking's fallen off for a lot of people, but I'm into it, man. He's my scumbag. So
he's my favorite in the company. I love MJF. I was a fan from day one. From day one, I was a fan of his. But the booking, you said, like the booking's one off. I mean, I feel like it can be fixed. You have the talent there to do it, but I feel like Tony Khan is. My problem with AEW, I think, for the last 2 years, especially too, is that they start stories and never end them. Like they start guys, never end the feuds. There's no blow-offs. It's like you start something and then you don't finish it. Like to me, and maybe some things have changed the last couple weeks or couple months now, but like what they done with Ricky Starks is egregious. Ricky Starks to me is one of the most talented guys in the company. He's great on the stick. He's great in the ring. I know he had injury issues early, but he's been healthy for the last year and a half, 2 years now. The fact he's not even a top guy right now to me is egregious in my opinion. Like to me, he's pretty much I would say like the next year or so he'll be WWE at some point. And
I think that's the right place for that guy.
Yeah,
it might just be. I'm a fan of Ricky Starks. Dude, his figure sitting right back there, posed up on the shelf.
You got it.
That's
nice.
My boy. Yeah. Oh, I got too many of them to even talk about. But yeah, dude, I can see where you're coming from in that regard. I mean, he has this thing, Tony Khan. As much as I think he's the fucking man, dude, I love him for what he's done for me as a wrestling fan. I do. I praise the guy. But I can see where like he gets a toy. That's what it is. Like Wheeler Yuta is a good example of this. He got the toy that is Wheeler Yuta, and he was like, fuck, dude, this kid can work. He can grapple. He can sell. He can do everything I need him to do, and he can make anybody he wrestles look kick ass when they do it. So the guy's going to be on Dynamite for 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11 weeks in a row, and I'm going, man, I need like a little bit less Yuta right now. Yeah. And then like the week after that, he got Action Andretti, and this kid comes out flipping like crazy with kick pads on, looking straight out of 2007 ROH. He's got his new toy. He's on TV for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then we don't see him anymore. I'm like, that's kind of, he had the right idea with the ranking system in the beginning, and I think he completely dropped the ball on that.
Is that done now? The ranking system, is that done?
It's kind of like they're half-assed starting to reference it again, but I mean, they're going more tournament-based right now in their storyline, so it's kind of hard to really say yes or no. I mean, they legitimately have, no exaggeration, with the right booking, you have fucking 10 guys that could be a world champion. And the hottest guy they got, Swerve. I mean, they're booking him correctly.
He's on fire.
He just had match of the year. Did you watch that Hangman and Swerve match?
I saw the highlights of it. It was fantastic. Full gear, right?
Dude, it was one of those wrestling moments where I was like, thank God I paid for this pay-per-view and watched it live and didn't get this spoiled on the shitter tomorrow morning when my, Instagram tells me who won that. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
Yeah, it was incredible. That's what I'm saying. If he booked right, there is literally 10 guys that could be world champion right now. And I agree, man. It's time for the ball to get rolling. They know, and they're aware of it. They're referencing it on TV now. Like their shitty storylines that everybody's complaining about. They're like, this is silly. Like they're kind of actually making an effort towards pushing it in direction, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. They got all the momentum in the world in WWE right now. They really do. Cody Rhodes' thing, as long as it's been, talk about a storyline that won't end. My friend, that's the longest storyline of all time. That bloodline nonsense,
you don't
they got.
like it, do you?
I mean, it had a couple of peaks. It got good for a minute. The Sami Zayn stuff was great. I thought those they were kind of killing it right there. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not like a Roman guy either. I just feel like he needs to wrestle more than he does, and the matches are like very sports entertainment. He's the most sports entertainment dude fucking ever. He's an action figure.
But his booking, but as someone who's watched wrestling for 40 years now, close to 40 years anyway. Damn old. The one thing I will say about Roman, he reminds me so much of the way Hogan was booked in his early days. Like it's like when you're the tippy top guy and you're the champion and you've been champion 4 years, in his case 3 years, almost 4 years. It reminds me of Hogan's first run as champion from 84 to 88. Hogan was always on. Well, now granted, there wasn't TV. Well, there was somewhat TV, but it wasn't like Raw and SmackDown. There was Wrestling Challenge and Superstar Wrestling and all that. But Hogan was never on the regularly. Hogan would be only on Sunday's Main Event, or to be on pay-per-view or a massive house show that they prioritized. So the booking isn't so foreign because I've seen that before in the past in the way they book Hogan to keep, and they do that to space it out. You don't want to go too crazy. Like to me, I don't need Roman on my TV every single week. Like at least wrestling every week. You can be on TV doing a vignette.
No, that's not what I'm saying either. I can relate to that booking, but then for the lack of a Roman, we get like the same kind of iteration of match, like with the same 8 characters for fucking 6 months, dude. We've been watching the Judgment Day versus 4 baby faces on Raw. It's been literally, I can turn Raw on for 5 minutes every Monday. And Finn Balor's going to be out there. There's going to be mommy chants. It's like the same shit. It's been it seems like a long time now. Anyway, I'm honestly not watching weekly enough to tell you how long it's been, but it feels like a long time.
I don't watch weekly either, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I mean it's rough, dude. The 3-hour Raw is fucking, dude. I got a 1-year-old. Like 3 hour Raw, bro, ain't happening. No,
I don't.
I'm pausing and shit. No,
I go to YouTube, dude. I go to YouTube. I want to see someone's going on. I go to YouTube, and YouTube will fill me in what's going on. I don't need. To me, I got to the point in my life now with wrestling where like, because when I got back into it in 2019, I would watch Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite and Rampage every week on command, to the point where I would, it would, like, if I fall behind for 2 weeks, I'll prioritize trying to catch up on it, and I got burned out to the point like I can't keep doing this. Like this is the thing about wrestling. This is not basketball, football. There's no off season here. Like wrestling is forever, and we learned
it's constant, man.
Brother, we learned even through a fucking pandemic. We're still doing wrestling, baby. You know what I'm saying? So
that's ain't that some Florida shit? We'll come down here to Florida and we'll get wrestling right over there by them alligators. Yeah. Oh my god, exactly. I love it.
So the thing is, like, wrestling never ends. So even some of my friends and I talk to who are massive fans too, also hardcore. You gotta take a break sometimes. Sometimes you gotta take a step away. Sometimes it's okay to take a week off, a month off, whatever, because the pay-per-views will do enough for you. Like they don't. The Raws and SmackDowns aren't as important as you would think anymore, because they don't very rarely put up blow-off of feuds on there. The blow-offs happen on pay-per-views most of the time, unless they tell you, oh, Punk is coming here or Brock is coming here. There's no reason to watch it every week like that religiously, because like it's like, okay, you will get burned out. This time of year was perfect for me, because this time of year with football right now in its peak right now, and I'm a massive NFL and college guy. NBA's back, all that. Between September and December, I tend to get more of a casual wrestling fan. Then Rumble season, I'll pick up again at Rumble season. into Mania. So.
Yeah, definitely always watch the Rumble. I mean, that's like tradition. So I get back into it right around that time of the year too. But I mean, I feel like it's been very predictable for years. Like you kind of know where things are going. I've only seen Vince fall on the sword at a Mania like one time. This is a couple of years back when Kofi, Becky, and Rollins all won their titles in the same night.
Right.
And he like let all the baby faces win. I was like, at the end of that Mania, I was like, dude, what? Who fucking killed Vince and let Trips be in charge for the night? You know what I mean? It was like this weird, like happy moment. You know, it was like a Bryan Danielson dude, you know, winning the thing. I'm like, he's going to get his head kicked off tomorrow night. I was always scared that like a big giant monster was going to just kill him on Raw for fun or put him in a garbage can and embarrass him and be like stupid indie wrestling. And you know, I was waiting for evil Vince around the corner dude, to show up. That's how it always felt.
Actually, when I got back into WWE 2019, because around that time, 2019, when Kofi won the title and all that, and Becky won it against Ronda and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. That a lot of folks say that was one of the big down years for the company because, like, creatively speaking, it was very very uncreative, if you will. You know, so
yeah,
you know, I remember against one at the wrong times. Things okay, this is not bad, but I see what people complain about. You know what I mean? But it's what it is, man. You know,
I mean, that Kofi thing was literally just the crowd. He did not want to do that. It was very clear they didn't want to do the Kofi, and they just forced it upon him. Sometimes you just can't tell the fans no. We've seen it happen. You know, Bryan Danielson's a good example of that. Mm-hmm. Kofi Kingston's a damn good example of that. CM Punk being back in WWE is the most premier example of that there ever will be. The guy, they fired him on his wedding day. You know what I mean? And he's back as PG Punk with a mic in his hand, kissing corporate ass. And I couldn't be happier. Perfect place to go and piss off. I'm stoked.
But here's why I think this will work out. This is why I think this makes sense for WWE. The reason why I'm okay with the Punk being back there now, given his history and all that, is because they don't need him. It's a win-win for them. If he fucks up, he's gone, and they don't need. It's not a loss. But all they can do is print money with him at this point, because they're in a place now. They have so many stars and so many upcoming stars that CM Punk, either you fit in, you fit out. It's that simple.
Do they though? I mean, do they though? That's the thing. I agree with what you're saying, but do they have that many upcoming stars? I don't know.
Well, okay,
I don't know.
I
would give you Braun Breaker being like the one name that I'm hearing pretty constantly. But I feel like this other kid was a bust so far. The Olympian kid that they signed, he kind of was a bust, right? Yeah, didn't he like look like shit on Raw or something? I don't remember. I kind of remember hearing about it.
There's an NXT, one of the NXT pay-per-views. I think he didn't do that well on the match. I think he has done shit. I'll tell you right now, he has done shit. Nothing certain not to the point where like you're impressed by him. But Punk is at the very least going to give you a little spark here. At least between now and WrestleMania, there'll be some eyeballs, and then after WrestleMania, we'll see how it goes. Like, but they don't need him though. They don't need him because like
no, you're not wrong there.
He's washed in the ring, as you said earlier. Like at AEW, he was terrible. His matches were terrible. I agree. They were average at best. So
there's going to be a lot of bells and whistles to get a good match out of that guy these days, man. Yeah. It really is. You know.
Yeah, Seth will carry him. If he wrestles Seth, Seth will carry him because Seth is that fucking dude. You know what I mean? Seth is that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roman will do what he can. Roman for all the shit people give Roman about his in-ring stuff. Roman knows how to psychologically keep you invested in the match though, and in the storyline. I'll give him that. Roman's like Hogan that way. But I don't know beyond a year if Punk is what is this? Breaking news. Hold on a second. Yankees trade for who? Oh, Juan Soto. It's official. Okay, never mind. Anyway, no, but I think you'll get the bump initially for 6 months. WrestleMania, maybe he gets his headline spot that he craved for the last 10 years, which makes sense now because
how would you feel about that if he's got Roman at Mania? How would you feel if he's in that spot on the second night against Roman in the main event instead of Cody, like they've been dangling in front of their fans for Cody, 18 months now?
I'd rather Cody get the rest.
I think universally anybody who's a real wrestling fan should say it should be Cody there.
Absolutely.
But We'll see what happens, man. It looks like he's going to be a babyface, which is the worst way to book Punk of all time. I don't know
I
what.
agree 100% agree with you on that.
What are they doing, dude? The guy just came out of a nuclear assault of a news cycle, dude, from AEW, and you got him back in the company that he went to war with in a courtroom. Brother, you should have given him a pipe bomb of all pipe bombs. That would have been. That's why I tuned into that Raw. I was like, I got to see what they're going to do. And when he came out and just kissed a little Vince ass and said, "Thank you, fans. I love you. AJ's great." I was like, "What the fuck is this, dude?"
And I think that's what AEW fucked up, because AEW, they started turning him heel when he came back after that suspension. They started turning him heel right there.
They should have got rid of him initially. They should have never signed him. I said it from the get-go. That whole thing was a mistake. They should have just never done any of it.
Right.
But yes, they could have turned him heel then. I don't know, man. I'm on the side of like, I'm a way bigger fan of when the bell rings and Hangman Adam Page wrestles and Jungle Boy wrestles than I am of CM Punk. I'm like more intrigued on the rise of Jungle Boy as a person than I am on the barely clinging to reality, wannabe washed up pro wrestler that is CM Punk, currently sticking around and being annoying. I could give a shit. You know what I mean?
Jungle Boy is still a heel, though, right? He's still a heel, right?
He's off TV, dude. He's still on the back of that suspension. They haven't brought him back. Yeah, he's not back yet. I mean, we'll see what happens. There's rumors he could be like in a storyline with masked people they're doing now. I don't know, man. It's kind of all up in the air, but they're going to the monthly pay-per-view cycle because of this new deal they're trying to hit together. I think with the streaming service, now that he owns the ROH library, it makes sense to put every episode and pay-per-view that he's done and all the ROH content onto one platform.
They have now 4.5 years of content now they can put up now on a streaming service, and it's enough. Yeah. All the Dynamites, Collisions, Rampages, and then of course all the pay-per-views from 2019 all the way down. Yeah, they should. And they should do that.
They can go back and censor all that awkward shit Jake the Snake said when the company first opened up, and get rid of like some of those segments with Brandy Rhodes and a troll doll or whatever the hell that was. Cut all that nonsense. Give us the meat and potatoes of All Elite Wrestling, baby. Give me some damn Scorpio Sky versus, I don't know, whoever, Kip Sabian.
I'll be honest,
any of that old nostalgia.
I'll be honest, I miss Cody Rhodes though in AEW. I do. I wish he didn't book us. I think the dumbest thing they did out the shoot was book himself out of the title picture. That was dumb. That was stupid.
I agree. I think they had a plan for it to go somewhere. We don't know what happened. I watched that Cody Rhodes documentary, and he even says, "I can't tell you the reason." Like there's something happened there where there was going to be like, I think something happened like financially between him and Tony and Brandy, because they both had such high positions in the company. When they were about to roll over their deal, I think they were expecting a fucking way more money than they were about to get from Khan. And I think that's the real reason behind it. I mean, he still boys with those. There's photos of him and Starks hanging out. Like, there's no animosity between him and like the Bucks and those guys. I think it's strictly like there's a money thing that happened backstage, which is why he was like, you know what? And then Vince flies to your house and tells you to come back. Dude, I got all the respect in the world for that guy leaving and going and proving everybody wrong and coming back and being like, watch, top guy, this dick, good for him. But he's another guy that's like very WWE when the bell rings. I mean, him and Dustin in AEW, that Blood Brothers match, dude, was insane. He's had his moments. The first steel cage match in AEW, he did a moonsault, landed on Wardlow and broke his toe. I'll never forget that moment. Like Cody's got his matches, but I don't know. I don't want to watch him wrestle every week. And WWE's going to make me watch him wrestle in a tag match every Monday Night Raw for the next 3 years.
I think I will say the smart thing that I think him not winning the title at WrestleMania though was actually smart, because I think if Cody would have won a belt too soon, you'll get the initial pop and official, this is great, and then like 5 months into it, you're like, okay, what's next? I think there's so much value being in chasing the title as opposed to being a champion, and Cody being chased, I don't think it's fun. There's a lot of value in that.
Definitely. Once you're the champion as a babyface, you just have like 9 guys that want to kick your ass all the time. That's kind of what MJF is doing somehow turned himself into a babyface champion in AEW. He's just feuding with like the entire time. kind of how the only way they're getting away with some of the booking they're doing now is because he's like, yeah, all these guys could beat him, which will never happen. But you know what I mean? He's got you thinking that there's like 7 guys at any time that can kick his ass. So I'll give him that one. Back, I keep jumping back to AEW when we're talking about WWE, but don't mind.
No, not at all. So how would you fix AEW? How would you what would you do differently that Tony isn't doing that you feel like you say you had the book? How would you change things book-wise?
Britt Baker's back on TV to kick off Dynamite next week because she's been gone for months. She was booked like shit before she left, and the company has the worst women's division. And they got one of the hottest women's stars in wrestling, as far as I'm concerned. Toni Storm is kind of killing it with this Timeless thing. It's like actually over. The arenas are popping for her. I don't see people trashing it on the internet. Like I see them trash a lot of shit. So I'm like, strike while the iron's hot, dude. You're about to have Sasha Banks back coming in. Mercedes Moné is got to be healthy sometime in the next month. We already know she's going there. She would have wrestled at Wembley Stadium if that injury didn't happen. We know that. Straight up said it. So you know she's coming in. You're about to have a chance to have like Serena Deeb come back, who's the best worker you got on the roster. Britt Baker is sitting there doing nothing. You got a young champion in Julia Hart who can't really go in the ring now with the TBS title. You need to get that off of her immediately. Address the women's division. That's day one, dude. Like they put on good matches, bro. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker was insane. So that needs to be back on TV. Great. She kills it on the stick. Yeah, she kills it on the stick. Give her a ball and let her run into some sort of storyline with the women's division. And then you gotta have tag match back on Dynamite, and they haven't done that at all lately. They really are just kind of tag matching on Collision a lot and on Rampage a lot. You're getting a lot of like roster clusters, so guys can get a paycheck and they're on TV on the lesser show every week. Dude, the tag matches on Dynamite for like a full year and a half just kicked ass every week. It didn't matter who was in the ring. Every one of those tag matches was ripping. So why aren't we you know what I mean? There should be a good tag match pretty much every week on Dynamite. And you have FTR on Collision all the time. I'm just like, it's hard to watch Friday nights, brother, and Saturday nights. You know?
Yeah.
Way easier to watch Wednesday.
Thunder Rosa is not done. She's still there, right? Thunder Rosa still in the company or no?
I believe she's still there. I know she was like injured for a little bit. There was some beef with her backstage with some of the girls on the roster at some point.
Yeah.
So I don't know like what that status is. But I mean, we know they brought Paige in. She can't work like they thought she was going to. She's already kind of injured too. So the star power that they had is kind of, I'm just like, man, you kind of still got like a couple of good rounds in the chamber. Like, let's fucking try here at least, dude. We'll see what happens. That's like the first thing they need to address, though.
But that's the sad part too about the women's division too, because the complaint was the first year or two was that the talent, in my opinion, the talent wasn't there. There wasn't enough good talent there. Now we've gotten good talent in the last couple of years. You know, from a lot from defections from the WWE. You know, whether it's Athena or it's whoever it may be. You know, Ruby Soho, you name it. But all of a sudden now, it's a booking issue now. You know, you have the talent there. Toni Storm is solid. You know, Britt Baker's still there. She's okay. She's in ring still a little green in ring in my opinion, but definitely a fantastic character. So, but it's the booking. It's inconsistent. It's inconsistent, and it's Tony's book, man. He's got to improve that. They have the cocaine and focus on the good booking.
Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a great night. It's gonna be an awesome show. We're glad you're here. Man, you should see him live, dude. You think he's tiny on TV. I went to a Dynamite. I could not believe how small that man is. No, he's not a big guy.
I went to the first Dynamite back from COVID. The very first show back from COVID. I went to that show 2 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, he's very small. Yes.
Yeah. I still got a lot of respect for the guy, but man, you're not wrong. I just feel like he's got too many like irons in the fire, bro. Just he needs to. He already said, dude, if anything ever happened to him, the only guy on the roster he trusts with the book is the greatest professional wrestler of all, Bryan Danielson. So I'll give him that. If he knows what he's good for him, he should just kind of let him book half a Dynamite, maybe. I don't know, the whole card for a couple of weeks and see if we can turn something around. I don't think it's a bad idea to spread the love a little bit.
Did you see the story on Sunny? You remember Sunny back in the day? Sunny, Tammy Lynn Six?
Oh, definitely. Definitely Sunny.
Pretty tragic story here with her. I'm going to show this, bring up the screen in a second for our listeners. Oh no, people on YouTube watching this. Sentenced to jail, 17 years in prison. I guess it's a DUI. I think. I'm going to bring it right now real quick. Where is it at?
That might not be her first one, you know?
No, not at all. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to find the news here because she got 17 years like 2 weeks ago. Apparently, this is like a history of this stuff now. Wow, look at this. She looks terrible too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's
I hate the judge.
Rough
like that,
character, dude. These days.
I mean, I was a massive fan of hers growing up as a kid. You know, as someone who didn't necessarily love blondes, I was more of a brunette guy, but she got on my radar pretty quickly. It's like, whoa, a blonde.
Definitely, bro. WWF magazine would come out and they would give
Yes!
you the 11-year-old like a big full page photo of Sunny wearing the LOD 2000 flame bra top with the black strap. It was over with, bro.
WrestleMania 14.
It's in love, dude. She could have taken me to Indonesia. I would have followed her to the end of the earth when I was a 14-year-old, 13-year-old. You're not wrong, man.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Yeah, Sunny Days, dude. That's Sunny Days, man.
Yeah, Sunny Days. That's there she is right there. I mean, tragic story. I saw the I think it was the Dark Side of the Ring with her. I don't know, was her or was it with Chris Candido? It won't come up. Whatever. I'll take it down. But yes, tragic story though. Tragic story with her and that situation. I think it's a DUI or something. Whatever.
It's insane, man. Like the wrestler downfall after retirement is pretty. There's like it either goes really weird, really well, or really bad. There's no like, you know, guy's got a normal life now and everything's fine. He's got to be, you know, crazy Disco Inferno on the internet ranting and raving or something. You know?
Oh God, he is nuts. Him and Val Venus are nuts.
Yeah,
Val Venus both nuts.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Val Venus content, but didn't he go like grows weed now in Vegas or something crazy like that? Doesn't he own like a marijuana farm?
Was that Al Snow? He's healthy actually.
Is that Al Snow?
Well. Al Snow's doing very well actually though. Doing very well.
You're right. He might be the normal one.
Yeah. Let's talk about music.
He might be the exception. Music, yeah. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
Wait, you just quit your band like a couple days ago. Did the final show was it MRSA?
Yeah, I just left MRSA. My last show with them was this past Saturday at Propaganda in Lake Worth. Yeah, man, they're just making some big moves, brother. And I have a whole nother band ready to go. Like we've got 40 minutes where we're put together. That's like my music. It's all original music from me and my other guitar player from Genocide Salad. So something I've been focusing on for a couple of years. We've been mixing and moving pieces and trying to find the right fit. I think we finally just did. So I've got a lot of energy towards that. And MRSA, man, they've got a management team now, dude. And you know, it's big things are about to happen for those guys. The album's about to drop. You know, I'm honored to be featured on it for my time in the band. I love the input and the shows I played with them, bro. But it was time to make a move, man. They're about to be way too busy for a guy with a 1-year-old. You know.
So basically, it came down to choosing family over that. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally busier than I've ever been in my entire life right now. I have a full-time job. I just opened my own business. And I was in 3 bands with that going on at the same time. And they were like, dude, we're going out of town for 1 or 2 days every month for like 7 months, bro. We had a show that wasn't in West Palm Beach. So we would be like in Orlando or Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami. We'd play shows. We flew to Milwaukee, dude, and played Milwaukee Metal Fest. Like one of the craziest. Yeah, dude, that was one of the craziest days ever. The Tampa Death Fest we just did like 2 months ago. So yeah, I mean, they're always busy. They're booked out, bro, like 6 or 8 months. You can see fucking shows for. So you kind of have to like be ready to pay to travel to get it done. And they're not at the point where they're like making incredible money yet. They're making good money, but they're not making like enough money for 6 guys to travel every month. You know, not with a 1-year-old, dude. It was an expense I didn't really have in the bank right now. So. It was a big part of my decision. And they replaced me with like a fucking total shredder who plays 5 instruments, dude. I'm like, all right, you guys will be fine. You know, I love you. Call me if you break your leg and need to play in West Palm, I'll fill in. But we're all amicable about it. So
no, I get that. I remember like when I played back in the day, now granted, I didn't have kids at the time. My wife and I we were married at the time where we were getting pretty serious, and I made decisions to, at the time I was working full time and this and that. And I made decisions to just do the suburban route as opposed to going and touring and stuff. And I don't regret it, obviously, but I do relate to that in some ways where, like, depending on the age you are, like you say you're 34 years old, so you have that time, you get the point now in your life now. You have a wife, you have a kid, and I get that, man. That's tough. A passion versus what priority, I guess. And on top of that, you also have other things going on. You say you have your own business now. On top of that, full time job, dude. I totally get it, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
How long have you been playing music in general? Guitar.
I started playing bass when I was like 14 or 15. I would go to live shows like in Fort Lauderdale at the Culture Room a lot with my middle school friends.
I love that place.
And they were all age. Yeah, all age shows. Back then, $10 at the door, dude, and you could be like 15 and in a nightclub. Mm-hmm. So fucking 2 a.m. It's crazy.
I played so many shows at Culture Room. It's probably my favorite venue I ever played at. I played there about 40 times at least in that place. So awesome.
I love it, dude. It's the reason. It's probably like honestly a big part of the reason I'm a musician is my experiences at the Culture Room. I used to close my eyes. I want to be a singer when I first got into music, dude. I used to close my eyes and picture myself on that giant. When I was a kid going there, the stage fucking seemed 25 feet tall off the ground. You're just looking up at these guys that I thought were like, how do you do this? Right. I didn't know you just did it. I didn't know you could just do it. These guys just fucking worked at Dollar General and had like a goth band. And I was like, dude, that guy, I'll buy your shirt. Whatever, here's all my money. Like, dude. So I remember like looking at that glass mirror that's in front of the stage, the whole wall's the mirror. Yep. If you're on stage, and just thinking about like, I'd be able to look at myself and I wouldn't have to look at the crowd. I was like, it's fine. Before I ever played on stage, I thought about that for years and years. Like, I'll just be up there with my instrument. I'll just look at myself the whole time and I won't be nervous because I won't have to see the crowd. Didn't work like that. They kind of got rid of the mirror now. And by the time I finally played there for the first time earlier this year, it's like it's not like it used to be. It's like in squares and like crackled and shit. It's weird. I
haven't gone there. You don't think about it now? It's been about 10 years since I've gone to a show there. I think last time I went there, I saw Fear Factory there in 2013 or 2012, one of the two.
I was at that show.
You were at that show?
I was at that show. Yeah. Definitely.
One of the 10 times I've seen him live. I want to see him again in February for the record, with a new singer. No, I love that. I love that venue. Was Greg still running it recently? Is Greg still running the place? Greg
was still there. Yeah.
Oh my god. It's like a fucking
dude. I'm a diehard Fear Factory fan. I didn't know you were a big fan of those guys. I was in catering with Dino at Milwaukee Metal Fest. The guy was eating fucking salmon like 3 seats away from me at the table. I was like, I didn't say a word, bro. I was just like looking over at him all the time.
If I had a picture on my fucking computer, I showed a picture of me and Burton from like 2006 when I met him.
Awesome, man.
That's a tragic story. That band. So my 5 favorite bands of all time, in order, somewhat. Well, number 1 and 2 in order, definitely. Metallica, Queen. Then you have on any given day, 7 of Fear Factory, 3 and 4, depends on how I'm feeling that day, and then Megadeth. Fear Factory to me, they've been around over 30 years, and they are by far the messiest band when it comes to business I've ever seen from a band that's been around that long and on the mainstream level they are. Like
Sepultura says hold my Sepultura says hold my or whatever. I mean, did you just see them on stage? No Calavera, no Sepultura. They had the whole crowd chanting it because Sepultura is on tour without a brother, and they're like, I always say their name wrong. It's Cavalera. But
Max Cavalera.
Cavalera, yeah. So they're not. Neither one of them are in the band anymore, and like the fans are pissed. No Cavalera, no Sepultura. Their like whole show was chanting it. They had signs on stage and shit. So they are pretty bad right now.
Max been going for a long time.
I think there was like an attempt at a reunion recently or some sort of reconciliation, and that like went south again. So there's new bad blood in the air with their copyright infringement situation. It's never a good thing.
That's
never a good
sucks,
thing,
dude. That sucks, dude. Because I mean, Soulfly's still touring though. I think Soulfly's still touring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just played with him. I played with him with Mercer at the Culture Room last year.
Amazing.
That's who we played with.
We were supposed to open for them in 2006, and we were going to, and then the show got canceled because a hurricane came by here. It might have been the hurricane 2005 actually, not 06, 05. Like was it Irma? Yeah, Irma.
Is that the one that's the reason Ozfest didn't happen as well, right?
I think so.
That's 2005, or no, it might have been 2000. I don't remember. It's one of them that we missed Ozfest because of a hurricane. I remember that.
Yeah, my band was open for Soulfly, and the show got canceled because of the hurricane. So,
what was the name of your band?
Sense of Being.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to look it up, man.
Yeah, we
I got to jam to.
Yeah, we broke up 2009 officially, 2009 officially. But we had checked out by 07, 08 because the guitar player had started touring with another band. They went national and stuff, and he went with them, and then they broke up. I think a couple years later, they were touring with Five Finger Death Punch and all this stuff. And then, yeah. So no, we played a bunch of shows here. We played the old. Remember the Kelsey Club?
Of course.
We played shows there too as well. A couple shows there. If Culture was number one of my favorite venue of all time, that one's number two.
Now this is the one that's in like Lake Park, right up there. Correct. Off of Blue Hair. Yeah. So remember, you used to have to come in the back door with there was like cages of chain shit in there. Yeah, I was going to shows there years ago, and then I've gone recently a couple of times, dude. They redid the place, and it's like awesome. They did like a benefit show there. I saw a death metal show there. Yeah, dude. This guy bought it. I don't know his name, but he's like a rich guy that's like really friendly. He's in a wheelchair, and he's like friends with like everybody in that strip. He's got like a reputation in the neighborhood. Like he's kind of like the unofficial mayor, I feel like, of that little area. Right. And he ran like some big benefit show there, dude. And the place is redone. It's badass. You come in the front now instead of in the back. They redid the stage. The sound was awesome. They had like $3 PBRs at a venue. So I was smashed by the time I left. It was great. It was a good time. It's probably been a year and a half or two, but
dude, that's awesome. Because I remember doing shows there 20 years ago, and they would treat. I remember the first time I played there, they treat you like kings there. They treat like his backstage here. This way, put his stuff here, and go get something to eat and come back and this and that, and they'll help you out with the setup. Oh my god, it was great. I made a lot of friends there, lifelong friends through playing there.
That's awesome, man.
Fantastic venue. Yeah, I would say if Culture was number one, number two is definitely is that one. Revolution I played one time Revolution. It's okay. Play outdoors though.
That's on my list, man. I want to play Revolution for sure. That would be awesome.
Play one time. So what bands went on that Wonky Fest last year? So was Lamb of God there last year too on that show? No.
Not on our day. We played on Saturday and they played on Sunday. So we had like Anthrax was a big headliner. Macabre is from Milwaukee, and their album Dahmer is about like the hotel across the street where he killed somebody. It's like crazy, the point of reference. But yeah, it was a stacked day, dude. Three or four stages, bro. Fear Factory ripped it apart that day. I mean, just absolutely tore it up. I hadn't seen their singer, the new guy, and I was like, we'll see what happens. We just so happened to find out like right before that. Yeah, that we could make it up the stairwell with our VIP. We didn't know we could just go wherever we wanted to because we played that day until like right before they went on. I was like, oh, now we're on like the balcony looking down at them in the best seat in the house, bro. It's insane. Just a killer day, man.
He is really good. He is really good. Dino chose right. Dino did a good job in choosing him because I caught some of their stuff they did when they first announced him as a singer in the band. And a couple of shows they were doing, and I guess some of the folks on Loudmouth had put up some links and stuff on YouTube of the shows, and some of the things he was doing, like he really emulates Burton well. He really does.
And I mean, dude, the projection, like they were in the main ballroom there. You know what I mean? And the kid there was Fear Factory playing, and then he came. You know, he would come in. You know, he had an attack on the vocal, dude, which was I was like, all right, I'm sold. it took about half a song, and I was like, yeah, dude, he's gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine.
Well, I'm gonna go see him in February. They come down to Orlando in February with Machine Head. I'm gonna go see them.
I saw that tour going down. Is it at what's the venue?
House of Blues.
House of Blues. Man, that's a great venue in Orlando, dude. That place is awesome.
Oh yeah, we've never played there before, but I've gone there a couple times. I go figure. I saw the last time I was there. I saw Fear Factory there. Actually, go figure. And Lamb of God together. 04.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was there. I think it's got to be like it was about 6 years ago, and it was for Arch Enemy and Trivium. That's my all-time favorite band is Arch Enemy. So I had to go see that show, and Trivium was the headliner, dude. It was insane. Yeah, we got an awesome hotel.
So we opened for Trivium in 2006. Dicks. Mainly
really
heavy dicks. We opened for 2006. Yeah. And I remember telling the old Matt, hey, nice to meet you guys. You guys are awesome. This and that. Didn't give a fuck. Like, really, dude? I want to fucking slam that.
They big timed you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, like, I just hung out with Paolo, the bass player, at a couple of shows. He's friends with Mersa's lead singer, Dean.
Yeah.
He was cool, man. He like took photos and like kicked it, dude. Honestly, I had a good time with him. But then again, you know, like those kids were fucking 15 years old when that album dropped. You know, Trivium was first time. They were like 15 or 16, dude. Like the four of them. And they were overnight, dude. You knew who Trivium was. I was like, who the fuck is that on guitar? I mean, it was a wall of noise. So right away, dude, I was like, imagine being like that famous and that cocky, that young. I think I might have been a prick too. You know, who knows? I probably most definitely would have if I was a Trivium member back then. I'm turning around to check the score because I feel like you just looked off and we're going into the half here, and my Nuggets are down by 3, but we own the Clippers for the record.
Yeah, down by 3, and now it was 22 seconds to go in the first half. James Harden the ball. Is this Murray's first game back?
No, he came back for one game, two games ago or 3 games ago. In the first minute and a half, he rolled his ankle under the basket.
Oh my
so God. He just got back from hamstring and then rolled his ankle, and they were like, dude, we're going to tiptoe you back into this. He played the rest of that game, but you could tell he was like ready to cut. You know, Murray, when he comes back, he wants to come back at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that game, he went from like posting up on the first play and rolling his ankle to like being passive the rest of the game. And I was like, here we go again.
I was sorry for that guy last year because, I mean, just being healthy at the end, given how things went a couple years ago with his injuries, that dude's awesome.
Yeah.
Top 5 bands, go.
Arch Enemy for sure. Slayer. Black Sabbath. Man, that's hard. It's hard, dude, to do my top 5. Gojira probably is there.
Gojira's awesome. I saw him last year, actually. No, this year. Saw him this year.
I just saw him in Boca. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I was there. I was at the Boca show.
It was Gojira and who was it that showed them?
Mastodon.
Mastodon, right? Thank you, Mastodon.
Yeah, Mastodon, and then Lorna Shore, which I got there for like the last 27 seconds of their last song. So I was like, that venue's awesome, by the way, down there in Boca. Yes. They just like wrapped up early. I'm used to the West Palm Noise Ordinance. I was like at 10:58, they're gonna hit their last song and they'll do a thing, and then because of Breakers West, they have to have that 11 o'clock cutoff.
Right.
So every minute they go over, that my neighbor across the street works out there at the fairgrounds. He's like, every minute they go over is like $20,000 or something.
What?
If the amphitheater goes to 11:01, 11:02, he said he's worked this since the day they opened that amphitheater. He calls it the shed. He hates going. He's like, I got to go to the fucking shed today. My neighbor is funny as hell.
Right? The one in Boca, right?
No. The I'm talking about the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Because of Breakers West, we have the 11 o'clock. But every minute they go over, he's like, it's $20,000. He said Dave Matthews did it twice on 2 different occasions. He's like, fuck it, and played till like 11:15.
They can afford it.
Dave Matthews is the one guy. He sells out 2 or 3 days in a row there, dude.
Exactly. Was my way. I need to see him next year. I've been saying, like, I made a point that next year I want to see him playing live. I'm not the biggest fan of Dave Matthews, but live wise, musicians, they're fucking amazing.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, so
I'm sure. I have friends who bartend out there, and they're like, dude. I asked them. It was like a big festival one time. I was like, "You guys busy today?" They're like, "Dude, we've worked back to back Dave Matthews days." They're like, "No, there's nothing is fucking anywhere near as busy ever as back to back Dave Matthews days as a bartender out there. They probably make fucking $5,000 a piece.
Easy.
You know what I mean? Easy.
Every summer.
And there's 35 of them. You know?
Yep. So what biggest influence for you? Biggest guitar influence for you?
Honestly, I listen to a lot of Trivium, dude. Those guys are big influence. Arch Enemy, dude. Michael Amott from Arch Enemy is probably like my number one. You can hear it in my guitar. Like Arch Enemy is a band that could probably have 10 or 15 different people do vocals for them. They could have 35 or 40 different guitar players behind Michael Amott, and they could replace the drummer and bass player if they felt like it, and it would still sound like Arch Enemy just because of that guy. Like it's his band. So, I mean, he's a big, big influence, dude. He's one of those guitar players that's like, we're going to shred every song fast and tight and awesome and loud. And then the vocals will come in when the solo is done. You know, he's one of those guys that I'm like, why not, dude? If I could play like that guy, bro, I'd fucking solo for 4 minutes in the middle of every song. People would hate me and I could open for Dave Matthews.
No, for me, as a bassist, for me, Jason Newsted number one with a bullet. Like I play with a pick. So Jason Newsted, Christian Warburgs from Fear Factory when he was there.
Absolutely, dude.
The bassist, because I play distortion too, also. So that distortion thing was like. So of course Lemmy also was in there for me as well too.
See, I was John Campbell from Lamb of God. I was a bass player before I ever played guitar. I play guitar out of necessity. I wrote a bunch of songs. My guitar player at the time took off, and me and my drummer were roommates. And I was like, "Shit, I should buy a guitar." He's like, "Yeah," and so I bought one. And I'm a guitar player, but I'm a bass player at heart, dude. That's what I would prefer to be. Like, it would be the best job for me. And dude, John Campbell from Lamb of God plays with a pick. I always played with a pick. I saw him rip up, and I was like, dude, I love this guy. And then I saw him live one time, man, and he was out of tune. And like the strings seemed really loose on his bass. This was at the fairgrounds out here at Cool Sky. And he was like out of it and just fucking phoning it in. Like I had seats that year. I was like close enough to see this guy play bass. And I was like, I'll never forget that performance he put on that day. He must have been like hungover or pissed off. He was like shitty looking. His hair was messed up. And the whole set, he was just like phoning it in, dude. And I was like, you're a hero, dude. That guy, you're the reason. And then yes, same thing though. Bass with a pick, dude, is the only reason I'm a guitar player now, honestly.
By the way, like, not for nothing, the new drummer, Art Cruz, phenomenal. I thought they had a problem replacing Chris. Art's awesome. That kid is awesome.
I've listened to some of the new Lamb of God since that's going on, man. I honestly, man, it's very hard for me to find new music to listen to, dude. Like, I missed out on access to so much quality death metal, which is like really what I'm writing now.
Right.
That like I'm going back through bands that are 20 years old right now. Like I keep hearing songs that are like, oh shit, and I bump like Internal Bleeding was popular like 98, 97, and I just heard an Internal Bleeding song the other day. Never even heard of the band before, and I haven't stopped listening to them since, dude. I'm fucking obsessed. So that's how I binge my music now. I'm going in reverse, dude. Honestly. That's when the good shit happened, I feel like.
It's funny, you know? For me, it's funny because that to me, that what you're saying there, Jesus Christ. Dallas won tonight by 50 points over Utah. Holy crap.
50, huh?
Yeah, 147-97. No, that applies for me for every genre, honestly. Every music genre I'm into, I don't like anything new. I don't. I might get a song here or there I can appreciate here and there, but for the most part, I'm always going backwards. I'm always going backwards, looking at things I've in the past. I can't help it, dude. By the way,
yeah,
Lamb of God, after Metallica, my favorite live band ever.
I mean, dude, I've seen Lamb of God tear the house down. That was one bad experience with John Campbell. I've seen them absolutely just destroy it, dude. And I've seen Lamb of God so many times now. I honestly couldn't tell you how many. That's how many times I've seen them. I've even like left halfway through their set before because I was ready to go and tired. Like I've seen them enough to be like, fuck it, I know what's coming next. Omerta on the way out the gate. You know what I mean? Like, so I love them and I got a lot of love for them, dude. Those first 4 Lamb of God albums are fucking untouchable. They changed my perspective on music. They took a singer that almost everybody that heard Lamb of God was like, their singer, dude, what the fuck? I can't stand it. Like everybody that I tried as like a young metalhead to be like, mom, you know, dad, uncle, whatever, fucking neighbor, anybody I was like, dude, listen to this. They were like, their singer. I was like, it took me a little while to get it, and then he grew on me to the point where I'm just like, that's what metal sounds like almost now is Randall Blythe. You know what I mean? We're at that point where like he's that OG and like dialed in as far as I'm concerned.
It's funny because even as a metalhead, like to me with vocals, I gotta have melody still. Lamb of God was the first band that I got into. Was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. You know, like
that's saying something.
Yeah, Randy Blythe, man, it's like he's an original. You know, so
yeah, and he sounds like he sounds. You know,
yes, live 22, and they are. I've seen them between the three bands. The three bands I've seen the most live: Lamb of God, Seven Dust, and Fear Factory. Probably between.
That's probably honestly the three bands I've seen live the most. I've seen Seven Dust ad nauseum, dude. That's funny that you mentioned them in your top five. I love that band. That's the perfect example of like melody. That Kill Switch Engage stuff from like End of Heartache is right there with that for me, where it's like the perfect blend of singing and screaming. But dude, absolutely, man. That killer band to mention on your top five, dude. I got a lot of respect for those guys. Love them.
So here's my dilemma real quick. So they're coming February 3rd with Static X at the at Revolution. I think it is. No, it's a Culture Room. Might be Culture Room actually.
It can't be Culture Room, dude. That show's not fitting in Culture Room. There's no way. It's got. I'm telling. I haven't even heard about that coming, but if it is, I would imagine it's Revolution, dude. Culture Room is for a show that size.
Yeah. Here's my dilemma though. I'll bring up a second. Here's my dilemma though. My dilemma right now is this: Lamb of God and Pantera are coming also too, the same fucking day, in the same fucking city.
Where are they playing?
Where the Panthers play at.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So now,
have you been to a show there before?
Yeah,
a concert in there before.
Oh yeah, I saw Metallica there in 2004. I saw.
Okay.
I've seen games there, of course, in the past.
Yeah.
I've seen Megadeth there. I saw my sister play there when she was an American Idol. So yeah, I've been there many times.
I just saw me and Bonnie. I won tickets to see Iron Maiden there, and me and Bonnie went and saw Iron Maiden and I'd never seen a hockey arena concert before. I was like, dude, they're like the perfect band to be in a place that size. A fucking plane flew across you know what I mean? Dickinson's fighting 3 giant eddies on stilts and shit. It was impressive, bro. It's hard to do that. You got to be one of those bands that can pack a place like that to make it work and make the sound work that well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. It's Revolution. I'm sorry, not Culture Room. Although they have played Culture Room before. I've seen them twice at Culture Room at least.
Yeah, but when a band doesn't tour for as long, you know what I mean? I feel like this is kind of. When's the last time that kind of show would be here? You know, maybe 6-8 years.
Static X, yeah, at least. Well, no, they come here often, but they haven't come here in a couple of years because of COVID, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I feel like us in the South Florida, and we're not Miami. We kind of bands make a decision. They're like, do I want my tour bus to go another 7 hours round trip to play one Fort Lauderdale show at the end of a tour? And we're like that one area where they can be like, fuck it, and they just stay in Georgia or go to Jacksonville.
Seven Dust can do it because they have a massive base down here. They've been here. They come through here at least once a year. Prior to COVID, they would come through at least once a year, no matter what.
Oh yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, I've seen them so many times, dude. They did Buzz Bake Sale like every year.
Yep.
Remember Buzz Bake Sale? They would do it every year, and I was like, yes. They always the best live set too, man. Killed it.
So my dilemma is this though. My wife loves Seven Dust also too, and we already committed to going to that show. However, I never seen Pantera, and I don't know when they'll tour again after this. You know. So it's a bucket list for me, even though Vinny and Dimebag, not being here anymore, obviously. So I gotta make a decision on that one. Like she won't go to the Lamb of God show.
How do you feel about the Pantera thing? Are you, being a Pantera fan, are you like upset about the tour being rebuilt around like a different cast, or are you like, fuck it, I'm glad that it's happening and we get to see it live?
I mean,
because that was like a very hard split camp, dude. When that shit was announced and like the lineup, and they're like, yo, that was some divisive, like heavy duty online fucking ammunition going off, dude. People going back and forth about that. I remember the discourse going.
Right. I don't know, man. I kind of actually I kind of sided with people who were against it because, like, I mean, it's Dimebag and Vinny, you know. So, but it's still it's still Rex and it's still Phil and it's so it is a bucket list, and I haven't seen Lamb God in a while. And if my wife says go to the show, if my wife does not go to Seven Dust, I'm gonna go to Lamb God and Pantera because Seven Dust I'll see again at some point because they come here pretty often.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the right decision. I think the Pantera tour is going to be a little insane. Plus Zach Wilde, I'm sure you've seen him live. That guy's incredible as a live musician, dude.
Oh yeah, if you're going to replace Dimebag, that's the guy you do it with. If you're going to replace Dimebag, that's the guy you do it with.
And on the subject of them not doing it again soon, isn't there rumor that he's going to be the other guy in Kerry King's new band? Because Kerry King from Slayer's good. Now that Slayer is officially done and not touring, which is not his decision, he didn't want to do that. So Tom Araya and those guys are done, laying back, and Kerry King's doing his own thing. He just released like a logo, and he's starting to like unveil the lineup as he's putting it together. And there's rumors that it's going to be Kerry King and Zach Wilde in like a Slayer style thrash death metal band, a whole brand new one. That probably realistically they'll slap an album together that's manageable and passable with one catchy ass radio track, and we'll get good 15, 16 week tour out of it, and then they'll go back on about their separate things, and Kerry King will go crazy in the studio until 2038. The guy just never wants to stop, and I got a lot of respect for that. But
I don't blame him. He loves it.
Yeah, I mean, more power to you, dude. He's pissed about the Slayer thing. It's like, it wasn't up to me. God damn it. He's just like with a cigarette. You can see him with his fucking spikes on and a cigarette, just like, it wasn't my fucking decision. I'll play with Slayer forever. Slayer never dies.
So Tom has got tired of touring. Is that what it was?
I mean, he's like an old grandpa. You know,
it's in the 60s.
He's like an old ass dad. Yeah, they're all fucking old, dude. Slayer plays for like 48 straight minutes of tremolo picking and fucking.
So Metallica though.
I couldn't play a Slayer set.
So is Metallica. The Metallica is in the 60s now, and they're still fucking touring. Granted, their structure is a little different. They do weekend shows, and it's one night on, one night off, one night on, then the week off. But still,
definitely. They can also like bring like a personal trainer guy that like fucking gives them calf massages, and they have like somebody that makes their meals and shit. Like that's a Metallica level of of thinking. So I don't know, man. I don't think Slayer's got that going on, bro. I think they're still like old and in one giant tour bus and fucking bickery old men, been hanging out for a long time, dude. More power to them. Go start shit and do your thing, it happens, bro. It's music. And nobody's putting out good shit anymore anyway. So just like give me a slammy fucking, I'll give like Sanguise Gubog, about those guys. They have like one hit that just came out. They're like very slammy. They're like one of the newer bands that I think is pretty groovy. And Body Box, those guys are just really slammy. We just played with them in Orlando. That's about the only new stuff I'm into right now, though. Everything else is I'm going back.
Trash. Or the old bands put on new records. That's it. So you're not
a lot of that going on.
Yeah, you're not going to win it all this year. Or what?
Oh, let's switch hats real quick while we're back on the subject of Denver. Yeah, dude. I think we got a very good chance. I think we got one hang up on the bench, dude, that we're really going to have to do something with right here. Trade deadline, and I think it's got to be addressed. I believe in Christian Brown, Reggie Jackson, and their ability to like be consistent backups. We lost a lot when Bruce Brown and Jeff Green left. Yeah. We got to do something with this Zeke Naji situation. We have a guy who's a power forward that we're forcing to play backup center, and he's getting fucking brutalized by every bench in the NBA. At one of every 20 games he plays is good. And I'm just like, man, we just gave him all this money, like an $8 million deal or some crazy shit. We got to make a move. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 guys to target, and we need another big. We got to have somebody that can just not bleed when Jokic needs some Gatorade so that he can finish annihilating the competition on the court. You know what I mean? Like, let the guy sit down for 5 minutes without going -8. Please.
I love Jokic so much, dude. I love that dude.
The greatest of all time, dude.
Bro, here I'm gonna play a video quick of his most hilarious moments. This shit's hysterical. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it real quick. This shit's hysterical. I was watching it before I came on here. I said maybe we should put this on the podcast. This shit is hysterical. Hold on, where's that? Where's that? Right there. Boom. You see that?
Yeah, I can see it loading. Yeah.
It's just hysterical. Watch this.
You are an NBA champion.
I have a question to ask you after this. That's why.
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
Congratulations.
Said after the Lakers.
Be my team, though, damn it.
You said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
Who's free?
I fucking love him, dude.
The best, dude.
Okay.
Parade coming up here on Thursday.
Yes.
How soon till you're back in
I need
softball?
to on Sundays. I have my horse racing in my
Horse racing. I was going to get to that. The horse racing.
Maybe
This guy
I
didn't
don't
touch
know
a
how
basketball
I'm
for
gonna
4 months.
I'm telling you.
Thursday parade, Friday maybe.
Would you make it?
I don't know.
Maybe you can have enough time to squeeze it in.
I'm gonna ask Josh to give me a plane.
Oh, I think he'll definitely let you get a team play.
You deserve that.
You deserve a little more than that.
I did it on TV.
I'm going to finish by
I put him under the pressure.
Put him
Yes, I
under
did.
pressure.
Yes, I did.
Nicole,
And I don't feel bad at all. Help us win the championship. I'm burping. Sorry.
Nicola, the dinner you guys had at Jeff Green's house was very well documented.
Oh my god, fucking great, dude.
Dude, I'm so happy, dude, that he is a Denver Nugget, bro. He would torture me if he was on another team. But I've never loved a professional athlete more in my life. Elway and him, dude, they're like there, for me. Manning, when he came to Denver, that's it for me. That's my peak.
So what's the Denver connection, though? You're from Florida, right?
Born and raised, man. Born and raised. I knew this question was coming. My uncle, when I was a kid, lives in Denver. My favorite uncle, my dad's little brother. I don't have a favorite uncle, but one of my coolest uncles, my Uncle Mike, lives in Denver, my dad's little brother. And so he's working at the Pepsi Center when I was a kid, and we got for Christmas one year a big box of all Denver shit. It's like a Broncos hat and like a pennant and like a Nuggets shirt and like Colorado Avalanche like little mini hockey stick, like this whole box of just like crazy swag. And at the time, dude, I was just getting into watching football. It's like 1996,
the Broncos were good
maybe. Exactly. I'm just getting into watching football, and I'm like, I don't have a favorite team. All the kids in my neighborhood are Dolphins fans, and they're fucking depressed. They're just like, I can't be a Dolphins fan. That's what everybody else does. I'm not going to do that. I don't know. Nuggets. I kind of just naturally adopted those teams right then and there. My dad's a Vikings fan from Pennsylvania. That makes no sense. My brother's a Steelers fan from Florida. Well, I found out just like last year, at 34, last year, I found out that my dad's only a Vikings fan because his older brother was a Vikings fan. That's it.
Oh,
so it's just because my Uncle Rob was a Vikings fan. They're from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So it makes no sense at all.
You got 6 Super Bowls out of this. So you said pick the Vikings, who haven't won a Super Bowl ever?
Yeah. Oh, I know. And dude, when I was a kid, like now I'm getting into football. I pick my team. I'm like, the Broncos kick ass. They're my team, whatever. I was way more into football than basketball. I just kind of adopted those teams and kept the Nuggets on the periphery. Then the Carmelo shit happens, right? And I'm like excited about it, but I don't really love his game. Mm-hmm. And as much as I wanted to be into it, man, and I had those good years, but man, it was so fucking hard to watch the NBA for so long, dude, to me. Like of all the things I've ever fallen all the way out of love with, bro, LeBron James is the fucking worst thing that ever happened to sports news as far as I'm concerned. Bro, there'd be games that go 3 overtime. I remember this, dude. There'd be triple overtime game between good teams full of great young players who nobody knows about. And ESPN would give them fucking 1 minute, dude, snippet of highlight. Boop, 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 boop. It's 8 shots and then the game winner and a one technical that happened. I'm like, wait a second. And then they would go into like a 7-minute story on fucking LeBron, dude, 4 days a week. And I didn't have cable TV. Any access I ever got to like exposure to this before social media and my ability to just pay to watch basketball now, which I willingly do. I didn't have it like that. And all they ever fucking talked about was LeBron James. And I'm like, if this dude's so good, he should just run down the middle. He's got the ref's whistle in his pocket. He should just run down the middle, traveling every play because they're never going to fucking call it. Everybody on the defense should foul him, and then he should dunk anyway. Every play, all the time. Like, what the fuck? Dude, it's just like hard to watch. And then my Nuggets would have great teams, bro. I remember my only NBA game I've ever been to, dude, the Heat were on that big winning streak with their big three. They have Wade, they have LeBron, they have Bosh, and they're on like a 40-game winning streak or something. Remember that season? It was like they were going crazy. 27 game. So simultaneously, while that 27-game winning streak is happening, the Nuggets are on like an 18-game winning streak at the same time.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, I remember that.
And nobody, dude, I was a Nuggets fan. I'm like, nobody's talking about this, dude. Danilo Gallinari's fucking scoring 42 a game for 3 straight games, and nobody's talking about him. And I'm like, bro, this LeBron nightmare is happening to basketball. And now we're at the tail end of that, dude. And he's not the best player in the league. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world, and it's beautiful to watch.
You gotta admit, though, Bron is still pretty fucking good. 39 years old, though. That dude is still killing at his age, though.
We'll see what happens. Happens.
They're not better than Denver. They're not beating Denver, for the record.
They're not going to do anything. I'm saying we'll see what happens with this Lakers team come trade deadline and then the end of the season, because I've seen it happen multiple times already, dude. We're only a quarter of the way into the NBA season, and I've seen it happen already. This is Anthony Davis's team. He said that shit last year for a reason. And it's because he wants to push all the liability in that direction. And when he does what he's inevitably going to do and blows this whole thing up again, bro, everybody that left that Lakers team from a couple of years ago is doing pretty well where they're at. Imagine like that group, your Brandon Ingram, Ball, all those guys, Caruso back there. Dude, that team would be good if they played together for 5 years, and really fucking hard to beat right now. You know what I mean? All those guys that they just shipped out to make these deals happen. And I'm like, bro, and then they sign everybody in the book in the offseason and bring him in. And he's just yelling at them and pointing fingers and like not getting back on defense. Man, I see him turn it on twice a month, bro. He fucking does what LeBron can do and should do every night of the week. And I'm just like, where was this when you were pointing the finger at Anthony Davis and not running back on defense last when you're down by 3 in the fourth quarter, bro? What are you doing?
The
you know what I mean? It's not.
It should be AD's team though, because AD is the most frustrating player in the league for me though.
Hands down. But you don't think LeBron James is aware of that? Like, don't bullshit us and give yourself a scapegoat. Just say, dude, there's no way that Mr. Glass is running this, dude. No way in hell you're letting him have the ball and just handle this. He's soft in the paint. He barely goes up for rebounds anymore. Almost every rebound he gets, dude, he's only like this high on now. Jokic can't jump over a dollar bill, bro, and he treated him like water.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum, dude. Spun him around, fouled him out, dude. Just embarrassed the guy. I'm like, what are we looking at? And they put him in the top 75 players of all time. This Anthony fucking Davis guy, this guy? Come on. I'm not one of those guys who will say the bubble championship didn't count. I think the bubble championship most definitely did count. And I would even argue that maybe it was some of the most focused and concentrated basketball I've ever seen played. But
my team was there. My team was there. They lost, but they were there. And they were there last year. What's you guys?
This close. Oh, the Miami Heat are remarkable, dude. Like, I do not have any hate in the world for the Miami Heat. Honestly, there's not even a lot of NBA teams I hate. I'm not a big Lakers fan at all, but I respect the shit out of Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how could you not?
So he tortured my Nuggets my whole life until he was retired. He cooked us every chance he got. He beat the shit out of the Denver Nuggets, dude, for fun. And I'm just like, at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? That guy was great. LeBron, I'm not there with him. These current Lakers, I'm like, fuck off. Nobody cares. You're not even as stacked as the Clippers, and they suck too. It doesn't make any sense to me, man. This construction of the NBA right now in the West is fucking phenomenal. Every team is trying to beat Denver, and they've stacked themselves as high as they can, and we still undefeated at home and cooking.
I have a hard time figuring out who's the second team in the West because you would say, okay, maybe Phoenix, but Bradley Beal hasn't played much games yet, and they haven't gelled yet. You can say the Lakers, but they have their issues. Can the Thunder and the Grizzlies sustain what they're doing right now? The fast starts. We'll see in a few months. To me, it's Denver and Boston in the West.
I'll tell you right now, dude. The team to worry about in the West is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're the actual only team. Every Nugget said that last season after that playoff matchup. The hardest playoff matchup Denver played was them. Anthony Edwards. They got the Twin Towers. Dude, they literally are just roaming now with Cat and just trying to Cat and Gobert roam underneath. They're practicing every game for the matchup against the Nuggets when they're on the court together. And dude, that is the real threat in the West. They're younger, better, and dude, they're stacked, man. That team is deep, dude. They got 11 guys that could start. 11 guys that could fill in that starting spot any night of the week. And that's Denver's biggest concern, dude. The Clippers are the Clippers, so we have nothing to worry about there. The Suns have to stay healthy and have absolutely no bench and cannot play defense at all.
No.
So, and I don't know, man. This Devin Booker guy seems to be going down like with twisted ankles about as frequently as Jamal Murray these last couple of seasons, dude. You feel that way too?
Yeah, he can't stay healthy. Beal hasn't played more than 3 games this year. It's a mess.
We haven't seen that big three play once. Not once this season have they played together yet.
Nope. And I think with Minnesota though, you might be right. By February, I'll see if I'll buy in. If they're still this good in February, I'll buy in.
I like that you dropped OKC though. I like that you said that in there because I don't think the Grizzlies, dude, they're gonna have they're how many games back, bro? They would have to streak all the way through and win every home game till the end of the year without Ja Morant and the record they've given themselves at this point. I'm not sure what it is, but they're down there, right? They're like 6 games below 500 or something crazy.
Bring it up right now. Give me 1 second. Bring it up right this second. Funny you said that.
Dude, 6 games down in the West is fucking almost insurmountable at this point. So you're going to beat the only teams.
There it is. They are 6-14 right now. They are, for the play-in alone, they are only 4 back of the play-in, 3.5 back of the play-in. So if they can hold serve for another 2 weeks so when Ja gets back, maybe make a run in the middle of the year.
We got 2 weeks. There's barely any basketball this week. That's probably 4 or 5 more games for them. Let's say at best they win 3 out of 5.
Right.
That puts them 6 games back at the play-in with how that pack is playing. And dude, the only teams that are going to stay underneath them are the abysmal Utah Jazz, the trash pile Trailblazers, and the Spurs, we know what's going on there. There's no need to even bring that up. We'll watch the process.
By the way, I just realized the Spurs, they've lost 15 in a row.
Yeah. Who is it in the East? Who's it in the East that's lost that many? Charlotte?
Detroit, right?
Oh, Detroit. That's it. Detroit. Yeah. They're sliding, dude. It's brutal.
They have lost 18 in a row.
Yeah, dude. Victor Wembanyama, trial by fire, dude. Wemby, here you go. Good luck carrying these guys as a rookie.
He's playing well, though. But
he is, dude. Hey, bro, I cannot look away from my television screen when that young man is on. He is fucking fascinating to look at, dude. I'm like, what is he, dude? He's the craziest athlete I've ever seen with that kind of ball skill. It's insane, dude. To watch him do like a crossover is fucking like a video game. It looks like a created character. Like you were trying to be sarcastic and make him as tall as the thing would let you roll R2. You know what I mean? That's I can't believe it.
I think if he stays healthy, he'll be the best player in basketball in 5 years. Within 5 years.
That's right around the time Jokic will start slowing down. So you might be right. I think we're on the back end of Giannis, unless what they assembled there and the lack of its defense figure it out in the East. But dude, Boston looks fucking serious. They are. I know you don't want to hear that as a Heat fan. I'm just a basketball fan in general.
I hate the Celtics, but I respect them.
They are stacked, dude. Kristaps isn't even playing, bro, and they looked as good as they did. I know they lost that game the other night, their play-in game, but dude, that team is team is deep, dude. Drew Holiday is an absolute game changer. They proved that in Milwaukee, and they let this guy walk on the Dame trade. Just, dude, Damian Lillard couldn't guard me after work.
And I said this when the trade happened. Essentially, Drew Holiday cancels out Damian Lillard because Drew Holiday's defense, Drew Holiday gives Lillard fits. If you watch historically when they play in the past, he gives Lillard fits. Watch that Pelicans Blazers series from 2018. It's Drew Holiday dominated him.
All over him, dude. All over him. Wears him like a t-shirt. He's like one of the best guys at running 200 feet around chasing Steph Curry and still giving him a problem, dude. Holiday's no joke, man. We got his brother in Denver, dude, Justin Holiday right now, and I love the kid. He's like been a perfect, 7'1" wingspan guy off the bench to just come in and get a steal, a dunk, a layup, and not turn the ball over, which is so clutch from a bench guy. Yeah. I can't even. The bench in Denver is like killing me right now, but
they'll figure it.
We are where we are.
They'll figure it.
Yeah, Jamal's coming back and we'll be in much better shape. But I do think that the West goes through Denver. I totally think that. I do not believe in the Philadelphia 76ers and their ability to stay healthy.
Although consistent. They've been impressive, though. They've been impressive.
It's not Embiid that's impressive there right now. It's the
Maxey.
It's the guy they should be talking about for MVP out of Philly this season, and it's Maxey. That kid, dude, what's going on between him and Halliburton? I'm like, I might have to buy some jerseys, bro.
Although Embiid dropped 50 tonight, though.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Who are they playing? Just out of curiosity.
The Wizards.
Well, there you go. I could score 26 on the Wizards. Listen, dude, that guy ducked out of his matchup and avoided Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Didn't play, sat out. Hasn't played in Denver, dude. He's a squirrel, bro. He owes Kendrick Perkins a fucking MVP trophy so bad for that narrative last season, dude. It's not even funny. I can't believe that shit.
So it's weird because, like, I'll admit, I was pro Embiid for MVP the last 2 years, but he let me down so much in the playoffs last year that even though I had him higher on my rankings going into last year of player rankings, and even though he was MVP, he came down a spot or two because of that, how bad he was in the playoffs.
Dude, that what was it, Game 7, Boston, Philly?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that was, oh my God, dude. What did Harden go? What was it 0 for 9 or something for a whole quarter, and Embiid didn't have a rebound for 11 minutes or something, dude. Just shit the bed in the end there. And I'm like, I get it, man. You got Harden out of town now. You got no more excuses. They're probably still going to make a trade. I feel like the Chicago Bulls are about to get dismantled entirely. Every fucking one of them is probably gone, including Alex Caruso. Yeah. Raptors, I don't know, dude. We've thought that for 3 years now. They've been telling us they were going to trade Pascal Siakam. And I'm like, okay. The day they trade Pascal Siakam, I'm going to be like, bullshit, and turn my phone off and throw it because I'm not going to believe it. They've been saying it's going to happen since 2020 at this point. And who's the other guy there? Not Obi Toppin, but the defender. What's the other guy?
Anunoby.
OG Anunoby. Yeah, I like OG Anunoby, man. I'd love him in a Denver uniform, but they're going to want so much money, and teams can't afford to bring in guys that won a title 6 years ago for $33 million if they have 2 other superstars now. They can't, dude. The cap is about to wreck them.
This new CBA is fucking up everything, brother.
It is. It's like de-incentivizing teams to build from within. I mean, I think that's the only reason Denver is as good as they are right now is just because they stuck it out and waited, dude. Really, realistically, there's been one good trade. And that trade brought Aaron Gordon in, and that was it. We haven't really done anything else but get rid of problem players. Bol, see you later. Bones Highland, see you later. Anybody with an attitude that wants to go, dude. Torrey Craig, fuck right off. We just let him walk, dude. You want to do that? Be my guest, and we'll sit here and wait. It sucks we lost Monte Morris, but I mean, he's in Detroit dying right now, dude. He'd probably come back for a bag of potato chips. Honestly, they need to get him out of there.
The Nuggets have a 3-year window right now.
You think it's 3?
Maybe 4. I give him 3.
I don't know if Jamal Murray's going to give me 3.
Oh, okay.
I love Murray, dude. Don't get me wrong, man, but he's Dude, he's taking some wear and tear, man. This is a pretty reoccurring injury theme with him. I love the guy, but man, we're
drop the point guard and have someone take some of his minutes in the regular season.
We just did, and we drafted a short one, and he kind of sucked enough to go back to the G League like this week.
Shit.
We were like, we drafted this kid, Jalen Pickett, man, and they called him Booty Ball in college. He's just like this 6'1" guy who's all ass and like boxes everybody out. They're like Booty Ball, that's his nickname. And
Kyle Lowry, like Kyle Lowry, pretty much.
Like Kyle Lowry, but not anywhere near as good for what I've seen. So I mean, he's a rookie, dude. We'll see what happens. But they beat that shit out of that kid, dude, on TV when he played his first game. I was like, damn, bro, it was not good. And now, of course, he had a great day in the G League, which is an absolute joke, apparently. Because if it was anything like what I saw on TNT, man, oh, it was rough, dude.
All right.
Rough debut.
One last thing is get you out of here. That's a good conversation about William. So how like being a dad 1 year in?
It is the craziest thing I've ever done, man. That's for sure. It is. It's impressive, dude. What I'm watching every day. Like I never thought I would be so like impressed, but I'm impressed. That's how I feel. Like I'm so proud and like my baby's better than all other babies. That's how I feel. Like, I've seen other babies, dude, and I'm like, nah, dude, no way. I mean, it's not a competition or anything.
Every time she sees Brody, hey, look at this. She's so proud grandma.
I know, dude. Yeah, that's it's Brody's house now. You know, we live here. So it's been insane. I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing, dude. He's growing up right in front of us. I get to do it every day. I get to hang out with him. It's just like I'm his favorite thing in the world. Dada was his first word. He screams it at the door if I'm not even in the same room as him. It's as exhausting as it was and as scary as it was, dude. It's the dopest thing I've ever done. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I think it's why we're supposed to be here.
Yeah. It is scary. I remember I became a dad and I'm the same age you were. I was 32, turning 33 when I became a father the first time. Shit's scary, and at the same time it's fulfilling, and it's scary at the same time, and it's always all these superlatives you put in there. It's a game changer. When they say it's a game changer, when they say it changes your life, that is not a cliche. That is real.
Oh, 100%, man. I'm glad I did it when I did. We waited, dude. We paid off our cars. We got married. We got our big expenses out of the way. Like we were smart about it and like planned to do this the right way. And dude, my wife is the fucking smartest person I've ever met in my life. She's the most level-headed human being ever. And she's always just gonna be like, hey, dumbass. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You know, it's like one of those things where I don't even have to say it. She already knows what's about to happen and everything's good to go pretty much consistently, to the point where we're like, God damn, we know what's coming next. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, dude, if I would be in way worse hands with a different partner, but I got lucky, dude. So it's been kind of easy in that regard, like to kind of manage the whole, hey, are we ready for this? Because we thought we were, and we tried to be as well as we could. So we weren't completely just gun shy going into it. You know what I mean? That's probably the smartest decisions we ever made was to tighten up before it happened. So, dude, it could be, I cannot imagine like a single mother, dude, a single father, a fucking parent with 3 kids or like toddlers at the same time, or that had twins or triplets, bro. How, dude? How? Like, I wish I had the energy from when I was in my 20s to handle what I'm dealing with now as a parent and a guy with 2 jobs, but I would have never been able to last without the knowledge I have now, dude. I'd rather be tired now and like able to handle my shit and get up and go to work in the morning than be like 23 with a kid, dude. I would have been a fucking idiot, bro. Like, God only knows, man. You know, like, thank God I was smart about it. So that's honestly like that's the best thing, is that we were like a little bit ready for it, honestly. And my wife is just clutch.
Do you want more kids, or you one and done?
One and done, dude. We both agree with that. We're very satisfied with our perfect child. So that's how we feel. We're like, this kid's impressive, dude. Like, if we do it again, Who knows? The next kid might be totally unimpressive and just like beat this one up all the time. We can't have that, you know? So yeah, plus we want to sleep. Like eventually we'll start getting like a full night's sleep and shit, which would be great. I mean, he's pretty good now and I get my 6 hours, but until he goes to bed, there's no like dad time. You know, we're up with the kid. He goes to bed like 9:30, 10, whenever he's finally zonked. Until that happens, there's no like gonna go play Call of Duty for an hour now happens at midnight. You know what I'm saying? That's when I sneak away.
No, I totally get it, man. I've noticed a lot of people like my generation or even younger, they have one kid and they're done. They're good one, maybe two and then done. I don't see a lot of people like wanting to have a big family anymore like you used to. I know because the economy or the cost, or whatever, but I find more people like are okay with one or two and that's it. Like I have two and I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
10 and 6.
10 and 6. Okay, so that's kind of awesome. They're like far enough apart to like have their own stuff going on. You know what I mean? I feel like if you have kids like 9 months apart, like I know people that like got pregnant and they got pregnant and got pregnant, dude, and the kids are like, bro, that's got to be the most stressful thing of all time, dude.
It is, but
like, I cannot imagine.
But it's temporary though, too. It's stressful. It's temporary though, because as fast as you have it, at least you know when both are 18, 19 years old, it's at the same time. Like they both.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There is that side of it, I suppose. I mean, me and my wife have discussed it, you know, and we're like, it's like this beautiful moment in time and like this overwhelming feeling, and it's fucking crazy, and it happens, and then it's happening. There's no like, you know, there's no pause button, bro. It's once you're in there, dude. You know what I mean? It's not your shit anymore, bro. Now, like, we love Brandon, you know, 13 months old. I'm like, dude, the kid's been walking since he was like 7 months, dude. He talks new words every day, climbs on furniture, bro, like points, does all like things that like 18-month and 2-year-old babies do. He's already nailing it. And then we got like our first taste of like what a terrible 2-year-old would be like the other day. Like he was a shit this weekend for the first time. And he's got this little habit of like, you're not looking at me, so, and smack you like to get your attention, which you catch me like one good time and I'm like, oh shit. And then it's like, all right, dude, you're going to the crib and you're going to cry for a minute. That's not what I'm worried about. The dog sleeping on the floor who just doesn't expect it. And he fucking jumps off the furniture like a ninja and karate chops the thing in the ear. Now I'm like, oh shit. So this weekend was a little, we got to tiptoe around what that's going to be like, brother. And let me tell you, man, it's,
no, that's
gonna be some cold ones in the fridge. You know what I mean?
There are stages to this shit. I'm telling you. Every stage is this thing. Like Turbo 2, Turbo 3 is a real thing. Then you go to school. Then you come preteens now. And right now I'm going through with my 10-year-old. We're going through a good stage now with the preteens now. We're like dealing with bullying and dealing with all this stuff in school, and it never ends, brother. It never ends.
Man, public school terrifies me, bro. Me and my wife are like, dude, whatever we got to do. Like, I'll start digging graves, bro, by hand to get, you know, to do what I got to do. I just, man, those are the worst times of my fucking life, dude, for public school. It was torture, bro, for me. I never, ever, ever had a good time at school, dude. And I was there for way too long. You know, like that's how I felt about it every day when I got up and went there. I was like, fuck, this is not for me, bro. I'm just like not in the right environment for it. So I don't want to, I mean, not every kid is different, dude. You know, every life is different. Every experience is different. Not to say that he's not going to be like, fuck yeah, and just thrive there. But
right.
Dude, the chances are, I mean, you know, like, who knows, man? He's going to be a little Nuggets fan. Hopefully, he's just going to have like 11 Heat kids bullying him when he gets there. I'm going to be like, don't tell me that, you know? First day my kid comes home with a scraped knee from some Heat fan, dude, I'm going to fucking be on a rampage, you know?
Right. I'm with you. I feel that, brother. Anyway, man.
How are you dealing with a 10-year-old and bullying? Is that like, is it boiling your blood from time to time? You got to deal with it, or do you have to like take the step back approach and try to figure out how to say the next thing?
You have to step back though, because first I got to make sure that my kid isn't the problem. My kid has ADHD, so he can be a little much at times. So are you antagonizing people to want to bully you? You know what I'm saying? But the same time, it's like I don't know, man. It's a lot of work. It's mentally draining. It's draining.
Definitely.
You know, so just have to. The podcast helps me, man. It gives me a little balance, something for myself. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's I've thought about doing one for years, man. It's good to sit down and just talk every once in a while, bro. You need it, man. It's a release. It's great. I had a good time today for sure, man. I'm glad you finally got me on. And I feel like if we get down deep in these playoffs here, and we're looking at one of those matchups where the big three in Phoenix decide they're going to get healthy, or the Clippers decide they want to show up and get the smoke, maybe we'll run this back and talk a little basketball.
I feel like with Bradley Beal, I know he went to Miami. I think the Heat dodged a bullet.
With the injury that he didn't tell anybody about and then showed up with?
With injuries he's had now, like the Heat dodged a bullet, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't need another guy that's going to end up eating up cap space like Kyle Lowry 3.5 years from now when he can't play anymore. And look, I like Kyle Lowry's game every 8 games when he has that one game where you're like, fuck, that's Kyle Lowry. That's like he used to be. And he just goes off for 37 for no reason. But, man, he's like a drag on your squad most of the time. I've seen, like, Heat fans want to drag Kyle Lowry, into the streets and beat him to death, dude, for the performances he puts on and the shots he misses.
Dude,
I can't.
My wife hates him. My wife hates the guy. Can't stand him. Every time on TV,
everybody's got that player when the ball gets in their hand, you're like, don't miss, dude. Yeah. It was Reggie Jackson for me at the beginning of this season. But Reggie Jackson, dude, in wake of Murray's injury, has been fucking lights out. I am a Reggie Jackson believer. After just like 12 games with no Murray, I'm like, dude, do whatever that is every night, and we'll be fine.
I used to like him in OKC, and then he grew on me after a while.
Really?
Yeah, I was a fan.
He's Mr. Accessory.
Yeah.
You ever seen the meme? It's like Reggie Jackson. He has a mouthpiece, 2 headbands, an arm sleeve, 2 mismatching shoes, leg sleeves, extra pair of shorts, and he goes 1 for 9 with 2 assists and 4 turnovers. And I'm like, that's what I felt about until the season started. I'm like, don't be that guy this year, Reggie. But him and DeAndre Jordan just absolutely killed the Clippers last week, and both went off because the Clippers gave up on both of them. That was a touching moment. Clippers glory right there.
Without Jokic and Murray. Correct.
Yeah. Without Jokic, Murray, and Gordon.
And Gordon, right. And Gordon.
Yeah, we had no big dude. It was embarrassing for the Clippers. And they played everybody, homie. Yep. They played the whole squad. Westbrook had 30-something minutes, dude. I'm like, yo, you guys suck, man. I'll never believe in the Clippers.
That's a shit show. And because of Harden. It's because of Harden. And the worst part
am the process.
Yeah. And the worst part is Kawhi's healthy. Kawhi's healthy.
Imagine walking into work and being like, I am the process. They'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Just the way he walked into that locker room. There's the backstage clip of when he comes back, when he finally gets there and he walks in the locker room and it's him and Westbrook sitting there already. And he walks in all like cocky with his 4 iPhones in his hand and starts like looking around. I'm like, this fucking guy is going to blow this team up. Dude, he's not worth that contract anymore. I don't give a shit who you are. Harden shouldn't be a max guy or anywhere near it. I don't care if he led the league in assists last year. He had a center who went like 85% in the paint, dude. You can just throw him the ball from anywhere. You know what I mean? He ain't going to have that many assists now. Who's leading in points, assists, and rebounds in the NBA right now? What's his name? Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
And he's a Denver Nugget, baby, the best player in the world. Don't forget it.
Hi, honey. I'm still recording. He's always joking. Huh? Yeah. I'm almost done though. Okay. Yeah, all the time. So we're recording the sound. Where it sounds. You hear that sound?
Yeah.
Anyway, Brandon, great job for the podcast, man. That was a good job. We'll do this again soon. Talk almost 2 hours. Talk wrestling, talk parenting, we talk basketball, talk music, especially with you, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And we got about 6 minutes of Nuggets beating up on the Clippers left. So I'm going to dial in on that, brother. I appreciate you having me, man.
Good
like
job,
I said,
man.
let's do it again. Let's talk some basketball when the playoffs roll around for sure, dude. I'd love to get up on some of that. I'm pretty up with the league, so let's get into it, man, for sure.
Definitely for that, brother.
Definitely,
Good
bro.
job, man. All right,
Good
man.
talking to you, brother.
We'll
I'll talk to you soon.
You got it, man. Take it easy, brother.
Later.
Later.